Tribulation, day 13. I did not manage to get a Tribulation day 12 up and onto YouTube. So we're now 2 days further into the Tribulation. But you know what? The Tribulation continues on. My Tribulation continues on. The world, as I know it, is getting worse. Not better. Not yet. But I'm out there, I'm picking up extra dog poop in the park. Yesterday, I actually, day 12 of Tribulation, I had an experience. It was kind of crazy, nothing like special, but I've gotten to the point where I just, I'm not going to be one of these people that just stands there and doesn't give a crap anymore. So in a lot of ways, I've taken a stand, and my joke to like my friends and whatnot is I keep referring to the movie Grand Torino with Clint Eastwood, where he stood up to the punks in the park. Well, down in my park, it's about the same thing. We got all sorts of different issues down there, and one is picking up dog poop. So me as a dog owner, I got to do my part. And, I've confronted a couple of my fellow dog owners to make sure they're picking up their poop. But anyway, yesterday as I was down at the park with my dogs, about 50 teenagers showed up, and there was no doubt in my mind it was pretty much for a fight. And sure enough, they kind of came in from two sides of the park, and, within a minute there was a fight going on, and, I just said, you know what, I ain't putting up with it. So I went over there, and it was like a bigger kid fighting a smaller kid. So, basically I just told everybody, I said, it's over, man. Like, no more fighting, not in this park, like, get the hell out of here. And, they weren't happy about it. But, the kid was getting his ass beat. He kind of looked at me like, thanks. And I just said, dude, get some new friends, or minimally just get the hell out of this park. Like, this is your chance. Get while the getting's good. But, I did something about it. And, I'm not knocking the other people in the park that weren't really doing anything about it. But, it was kind of a tense situation. And, for a minute there, I thought, if, especially all these teenage boys, if they had wanted to, they could have just started some shit with me. But they didn't. But, I think that's kind of part of the Tribulation, is we're going to be put in situations where it's not going to be easy. It could be you, one person confronting many. But sometimes it only takes one to stop something. And, likewise, the sad thing about life is sometimes it only takes one crazy person to start something, because everybody doesn't say no and just kind of goes along for the ride. One comment that I get, and that I've gotten, the one fool that left the comment that then erased the comment, but, I know who you are. But the comment is, as far as the Tribulation, like in regards to the weather, earthquakes, it's just like, hey man, this is all perfectly normal, this is not anything weird, this is what happens anyway, it's just weather. And you know what, they're kind of right. But, two things. One, even what's normal is catastrophic weather happening, but, we even look back at it because there are moments in Earth's history where catastrophic things happen, like the volcano at Pompeii that buried a whole city. And you know what? That was kind of like the end of their world. Sometimes it's just the natural weather pattern, but, I kind of brought up the fact that, time works in a cycle. Well, the Earth works in a cycle too. And that's why, when these people say, oh, there's nothing weird happening, it's just the same stuff that always happens. Well, yeah, they're kind of right, but that's what's happening is the normal stuff, which is going to lead to a bunch of crazy critical stuff. Now, the other thing is, there's the old concept of, nobody knows the day and the hour of the end. And, you know what, I'm not really trying to tell you when the end is anyway. And, we just had one fool, I won't even say his name because he was such a fool, that predicted something that didn't happen. But when it comes to Tribulation or earth-ending events, look to your Bible, man. Right there in the story of Noah. God didn't really tell Noah, hey, on this exact day, the world's gonna be flooded out. But he said, hey, Noah, man, there's something big coming. Build a boat and, store a bunch of food on it. And, if you believe the story, put all the animals of the earth on there. Now, I got a slightly different twist on that I think, if God was helping Noah, telling him to build a boat, that he was probably helping a lot of people build boats or find shelter or ways to survive that flood. So it wasn't just Noah that survived that flood. Sorry, Christians and any Jewish people, but that's just my interpretation of it, that God helped more than just Noah. But, as a percentage of the overall population, it was probably like a fraction of a fraction, whatever number of people were alive on the planet. So the vast majority of people were sitting around saying, hey, man, there's nothing happening. It's rained for 4 days and 40 nights, but you know what? That happens all the time. Except it really doesn't happen all the time because it was leading up to something more catastrophic. So that's just my point, on the tribulation, is everybody's kind of right, but that doesn't stop it from happening, because it's perfectly normal. It's part of what happens is what happens, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I'm going to sign out. It's day 13 of the tribulation, and, who knows, man, lucky 13, man, but, right now I'm really looking at the Middle East, man, that I just think it's crackling, man, like fire. It's like, ready to go off, man. Like, I don't know, man. So, maybe something nice happens. But to me, on all fronts, Libya, Palestine, Syria, Egypt, Iran, Yemen, doesn't matter, man. Like, the stuff's still crazy. And, that ideal, democracy, freedom-loving people, we better still pray and hope that that's what breaks out of there, because what I see is something a little more sinister. I think the world, even though we don't want it, religion is supposed to bring peace and love, but I think, to me, the big three, Christianity, Islam, and the Judeo religion, they're all clashing and coming to a climax. And maybe that's part of the the surviving of the tribulation, because, everybody, John Lennon said, imagine if there's a world with no religion. And a lot of people talk about, hey, can't we just all get along? Can't all the religions get along? So something's going to come to a breaking point. And, throughout history, they've clashed, this is nothing new. But, this time it could be serious because there's more people than ever. And that's the multiplier effect, which is people when it comes to violence, man. The more people, the more violence. But you know what? The reciprocal of that would be more love. So, the battle of good versus evil, of love versus hate is on. And, me, I'd just soon tell the world to, sit back and relax, and maybe there'd be a little more peace, love, and understanding. But anyway, I'm going to get my tribulation on. I will catch you day 14, man.